Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video we're going back to Reddit once again for some Am I the A-hole stories, and we're going back to my favourite category, weddings. So let's have a look and see if these people are a-holes, and let's cast some judgment. So, am I the a-hole for telling my sister she is an idiot if she thought her actions at her wedding wouldn't have consequences? Ooh, I'm intrigued. Quite quick backstory. My biological dad died when I was young, and my mum remarried when my sister was 8 and I was 10. We're now in our late 20s. Stepdad focused a lot of his time providing for us, so I never got close to him, but I am grateful for him. Oh, that's nice. I'm engaged and my sister is going to marry in about a month. My wedding will be in a year. Both of us are close to our mum though. My sister, who I will call Noelle, effed up in my opinion. At first I was on her side, but now I just feel bad for stepdad. Noelle isn't going to have him walk her down the aisle and give her away. Oh, that's sad. I understand this is her decision, and when that came out, I helped my mum and stepdad understand it was her choice. The turning point happened last week when she told us he will not be sitting at the family table. When asked her why, she made it clear he wasn't family to her. Again, her right, but damn, here's the reason we had such a good childhood and are debt free. He paid for college and worked a ton. God, that's actually heartbreaking. I'll get to the end and then I'll say what I think. I knew this would result in them not going to the wedding, and they informed my sister. She called me upset and was ranting about how it was her wedding, that she was being abandoned. I had enough and told her she was an idiot if she didn't think her actions would have consequences. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm unsure if I was a jerk and feel guilty since I'm now close to my parents since I promised he can walk me down at my wedding. Okay, this is a hard one. So, I don't know how old you guys are. Oh, late 20s. Okay, so this guy's been in your life for at least a decade, and he's stepped up and he's been a father figure when unfortunately you lost your father at quite a young age. So I can imagine how heartbreaking that must have been for him to hear that he wasn't going to get a chance to walk you down the aisle when he probably felt as though he was a father figure and he probably felt as though he was family. So that was probably like the first blow. But you can kind of be like, okay, fine, we can move past that. But to then be told you're not even sitting with us that is a horrible thing. I feel as though your stepdad was done dirty there, because he's been with your mum for a decade. He's shown up for you. He provided enough for you to be able to go to college, and you don't have any debt from it. Like, yeah, your sister is an a-hole in this situation. You are not. I think the fact that your parents stepped down, your mum and your stepdad, I think that must have been really difficult for them, because obviously they're not now going to get to see, that by their choice, they're not going to get to see their daughter get married. But I do appreciate that your mum had her partner's side, and that must have been incredibly hard for her to be like, actually, if he's not going to be sitting with us, I'm not going to go either. It's lovely that you've now said, you are walking me down the aisle though, don't worry, and you've now got a great relationship off the back of this, which is a bittersweet ending, I guess, for you. Something great's come out of something that's not great. You are not a jerk. I don't know why you feel guilty. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't feel like you should feel guilty, because you've tried to mend something that wasn't really yours to mend anyway, but you've tried to make things a bit better, in a bit of a better situation. So yeah, I don't think you are the a-hole here. I think your sister needed to hear these things, that she is a jerk. The fact that she felt she was abandoned is a little bit like crying wolf for me, because these were things that she decided to do. These were things that she said, actually, you're not going to be doing this, this and this, and then she's surprised at what happened at the end of it. So for me, you're not the a-hole. Your mum, your stepdad aren't for stepping down and saying, actually no, we're good, in my opinion personally, but your sister definitely is. But that's just my opinion. Am I the a-hole for not banning strawberries from my wedding cake? I'm getting married next year. I love strawberries and I want some on my wedding cake. Oh, Yeah, yum. My plan is to have a 4-tier cake where the bottom 2 are completely separate entities with different flavours and the top 2 are lemon/strawberry. My mother is mildly allergic to strawberries. Will have a headache and a mild rash if she eats one, but is fine with eating food that has touched strawberries. She's absolutely incensed with my plan to include strawberries in my wedding cake and continuously makes passive-aggressive comments about how wedding RSVPs include a section for the guest's allergies and she would never serve something a guest couldn't eat. I explained to her that she is more than free to eat the other 2 cakes, though they will be entirely strawberry free. They aren't even touching the top cake, and more importantly, my mother has diabetes and won't be eating more than a small slice to begin with. My fiance agrees she's being selfish. I'm making this post because I was telling my dad about this issue and she walked in and added that this is my only daughter's one and only wedding. I want to be able to eat every part of the cake. Haven't been able to close my mouth since from the pure shock. I mean, it's my only wedding and she sees nothing wrong with saying something so insanely out of pocket. Well, my dad agrees with her, so maybe I'm taking this too seriously and I can skip strawberries for a day. I really don't want to, but I also don't want to make this a big drama. My mum is used to getting whatever she wants and I'm used to my dad siding with her, but I really thought my goddamn wedding would be the exception. You're not the a-hole here, you really aren't. If it was something severe, where if even she food that came into contact with strawberry, she'd be violently ill, she'd have an allergic reaction, she'd need like an EpiPen, then fine, I'd be like, well, maybe you should consider, because it is excluding your mum from this. However, a mild rash and a headache, sorry if this is going to be a bit controversial, they're not the most severe reaction you can have to something. And if she's not going to be eating much of the cake anyway, does it really matter? I am of the belief that the one time you shouldn't have to compromise is your wedding day. So no, you're not the a-hole. She is there to celebrate you. This is not there just to eat cake. She's not there for the food. She's there for you. So you're not the a-hole, but I also don't think you should compromise. If strawberries are the thing that you love, that's what you want to share with people. The whole point of your wedding is sharing the things that you love with the people you love. Go ahead and do what you want to do. This is your day. This is how you want. You're paying for your day, I imagine. It's a lot of money to not get it the way that you want it. Have the strawberries. Let the rest just be. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for leaving my sister's wedding? For a little backstory, I, 24 female, and my sister, 26 female, have never been crazy close, but we get on well. I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, unplanned, congratulations, about a year after she announced she was engaged. At the time the invites were sent out, my daughter wasn't born, but she would have been at the time of the wedding. So I called my sister and asked what the rules were in regards to children. She said it was child-free. I made arrangements for someone to have the baby on the day of the wedding and I thought no more of it. For some additional context, I was extremely unwell my entire pregnancy and almost died giving birth. Oh my god. God, that's terrifying. Not once did my sister ask how we were, not even when the baby was born, not even a text to say congratulations. She was 4 months old by the time of the wedding and my sister had met her once and that was only because I went down to see her. I live 100 miles away. We get to the wedding and turns out it's not child free. It's not even baby free. This broke my heart and I was so angry, so I just left the wedding and went and picked up my child and drove back home. 2 weeks later, my sister calls me and asks why my husband and I left, and when I told her, she kicked off saying it wasn't personal my daughter wasn't invited. The other babies were invited as they were her family. I just told her that her niece is also her family and hung up. The math ain't math in there, is it? Some of my family think I'm the a-hole and should have just sucked up for my sister's wedding, but my friends are on my side. Oh my goodness, you're not the a-hole here. There is something bizarre going on. Not only have you had a traumatic pregnancy and labour, you were very respectful and said, look, what is the crack here? Can I? Can't I? What do you think? And she's gone, no, child free. And you've respected that. From what we know, you didn't fight back. You were like, oh, but it's your niece and I almost died and all this thing. You've gone, cool, got a sitter, let's party. Mad respect for that. That's amazing. That's so good of you. But to then turn up and find out that in fact there were other children there, and to be later told it's because they're family. What did she think your daughter was to her? At the very least, you know you're related, right? Baffled. Absolutely baffled by that. You're not the a-hole, to be fair. I think I would have done something very similar. I think the fact that your family don't necessarily understand why you're upset says a lot. Do they realise that, you know, what your sister said to you? Do they realise that the absurdity behind it? You're not the a-hole. I think it really does show you in situations like this who you can trust and who has your back. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It sounds like you've had a really tough time, but the fact that you and your husband were just like, nope, we're done, you know, let's just go, and that your friends have your back, you haven't done anything wrong. You know, even you've been voted as not the a-hole in this situation. Your sister definitely is, and to some degree your family is, for not having your back and not really saying to your sister, you know, did you really think about this? So am I the a-hole for not changing my destination wedding? I am getting married at the end of the month and the wedding is going to be in Canada. Hubby to be is Canadian and that's where we'll be living beginning in the fall. I am American and so is most of my family. The wedding will be about 5 hours away from where me and my family currently live in the States. We already have everything planned and paid for, including the venue for the ceremony and reception. 5 hours away isn't too bad actually, is it, really? Today, I get several texts and calls from my dad, aunt, uncle and cousin asking me to change the location of my wedding to within the US. I am bewildered at this request, even though I already knew my answer was going to be no. Apparently, my 20-year-old cousin got a driving under the influence charge in Canada last year and isn't allowed back into the country because she'll be in serious legal trouble. How's that your problem? I'm not close with this side of the family, nor did I know about this until today. I replied to my aunt telling her that the venue is already paid for and that I'm not changing my plans. I then get several phone calls and paragraph text messages from my aunt and cousin calling me selfish and that I don't care about my family. I then get a call from my dad asking if we can postpone our wedding and just have it at City Hall near where my parents live. I tell them no. Mind you, my fiance and I paid in full for our wedding with no help from our families. I get the same response calling me selfish and that no one wants to come to our wedding anyway. Was I the a-hole? No. Oh my god, girl, no. Absolutely not. I say girl, I might be accidentally gendering you there, apologies. But no, absolutely not. I stand by what I said. It's not your problem that your cousin isn't allowed back in the country without serious legal repercussions. Your life is about to be in Canada. You're about to start a brand new exciting chapter of being married. You've got, you're going back to where your husband grew up, which is exciting for you to see all the places. And it's convenient because you won't have to really travel too far after the wedding, which is amazing. The fact that your family, you just need to change it. Is there not a question that the cousin just doesn't come? Is that not just be an option? And you have like a party later on down the line, where in the US maybe, where the cousin can be there. But you've paid for your wedding yourselves. You've planned it all. You're not the a-hole here. I think you're right by saying that I think you're right by saying no. If they're saying they don't want to come anyway, they don't have to. There's no law saying I can't get married unless my parents are there. Unless my family's there. You know, I didn't have all my family at my wedding for various reasons. But I think the fact that they're trying to hurt you now by saying things like, well, we don't want to be there anyway, you don't care about us, is a way to try and make you feel guilty. They're trying to guilt trip you into going, oh wait, no, I do care, I'll come and have the wedding there. A wedding, as I've said previously, there's things in a wedding that you shouldn't compromise on because it's your day, and if you want to get married in Canada, you get married in Canada. I'm sure the people who want to be there and care about you and love you will do it. They will be there, they will make the effort. Like I said, their options are to not come, or to come and the cousin doesn't. That's the option. You're not the a-hole. If it was me, I would not change my plans because this is how I want my wedding to be. Anyway guys, that's all our Am I the A-hole stories for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really curious if you think these guys are a-holes or not, what you would have done differently, or any experiences you have had like this. Please like the video, hit that subscribe, that notification bell. I post every week and we've got some really exciting things coming up. We have a new video releasing next week with Goblin Rides as well. Something a little bit different but quite exciting at the same time. But thanks again for watching guys. I'll see you in the next one.